So welcome to the regular board meeting for Toledo Public Schools, Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Treasurer, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Vasquez.
Mic's on.
Bob, your mic is not on.
Okay, got it?
Yep, so we're starting with the roll call. So Mr. Vasquez,
Here.
Mrs. Gherkin,
Here.
Mrs. Barwig,
Here.
Ms. Barnes,
Present.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Here. Great. And Mr. Schulte, the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Okay, my goodness, love that. And Mr. Schulte, the classroom, I think those were kindergartners, is that correct?
Yes, those were kindergartners, and I'll have to refer to Dr. Duran on the school.
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yep, those are kindergartners from Old Orchard as an honor of discovering kindergarten registration night. We thought it would be great to have our kindergartners lead the board meeting off, because tonight they'll be registered and getting ready for next year.
Well, they did a great job. All right, well, Dr. Duran, I'll turn it to you for the mission and vision, please.
Yeah, the Toledo Public Schools mission is to produce competitive college and career-ready graduates through all grade levels by implementing Ohio's new learning standard with fidelity. Our mission statement is to strive to be an A-rated school district whose graduates are college and career-ready. Thank you.
Thank you, and then continue on with section 2 with this presentation.
So section 2, we have two presentations. I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Mazur. Ms. Mazur, please.
Thank you, Dr. D. Good evening. We have 2 more videos to share, and I would like to say many thank yous to my friend Val Dreyer for the help in getting the cute kindergartners from Old Orchard to help out with the pledge. And as Dr. Durant said, tonight is Discover TPS Kindergarten open houses at all of our elementary schools, and that event began at 5 o'clock and it will go on until 7. As part of our promotion and to remind parents about the importance of this event in attending and enrolling students for kindergarten as early as possible, the following video was produced. The video explains the enrollment process, the documentation that is required, the assessment process for incoming students. So if we could go ahead and watch that.
A day in life of a kindergartner at TPS.
Whoa, not so fast, kiddo. Before we do anything, we have to complete the registration process.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for stopping in. Here's the application. Packets are also available at the Lucas County Library or at tps.org.
To complete the process, you will need the physical form completed, immunization records, proof of residence, a parent ID, the child's birth certificate, and any custody paperwork. After turning in the registration packet, we'll schedule an appointment for the child screening process.
At the screening appointment, teachers are looking to see how prepared the child is for coming to kindergarten. We look for things like letter recognition, numerals, counting skills, cutting, can they write their name, and other basic readiness kindergarten skills.
Now that that's done, you're ready for kindergarten. But what's kindergarten really like?
The first week of kindergarten for TPS students is a phase-in session. We do a lot of get-to-know-you activities and a lot of things just to get the kids comfortable with school and learning and used to their new environment. A typical week at school, kindergarten students do go to phys ed, music and art, just like the rest of the elementary kids. They do 30 minutes of music twice a week, 30 minutes of phys ed twice a week, and 1 hour of art once a week. They use the lunchroom, just like the rest of the kids. They go to recess. Our typical day involves small group learning, whole group learning, and individual center time. Sometimes we also have one-on-one learning. We do a lot of play-based and hands-on activities.
Register your kindergartner today.
So again, for parents who might be watching, or anyone that might be watching that knows of a parent, or maybe yourself, you have a student that will be enrolling in kindergartner for the fall. It's not too early, so please contact the school where your student will be attending, and they will be happy to help with the enrollment process. Our next video, and I'm not sure if you've seen this, it was quite a hit on social media, but this is from the girls at Stewart Academy for Girls, I'm sorry, and this is their new Pride chant.
7, 8. Na, 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 na. Whoa. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Stewart Academy's the place to be. We can't help it. It's alright. Stewart girls always shine. We're coming, exceptional, extraordinary, successful, not shine. Girls rock. P-A-N-T-H-E-R. We're the Panthers. Hear our roar. Rap! 'Cause the Panthers are here to stay. Come on, this way. Stewart girls are the team. And Miss Gibbons is the lead. We're respectful, responsible, and ready to learn. Girls power. 5, 6, 7, 8. Na, 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 na.
You just can't beat that, right? I mean, it's so good. So any thank yous to the staff over at Stewart for helping to put that together. And then just one final thing from me tonight as far as presentations, and that is always our time to congratulate everyone who is retiring. We have Linda H. Collins. She is a T&I teacher at Scott High School, and she's retiring with 28 years. Martha Welber, math and reading teacher with 28 years of service. Rose Alikabar Ledesma, she's a kindergarten teacher at Birmingham with 29 years. Kathleen Klunk, CCSE teacher at DeVoe, 30 years. Mary J. Malsbury, 6th grade teacher with 30 years. Mary Elise Wiggle, 2nd grade teacher at DeVoe with 32 years and 5 months to be exact. Wendy L. Wynn, she is a BAPS teacher at Bowsher with 34 years of service. And this is the one name that I hope I don't misspeak this. So I'm going to spell her last name. It's D-Y-K-Y-J. Mary Jean Marie DeKaija. She's a physical therapist with 35 years of service, and that is a total of 246 years and 5 months of service to Toledo Public Schools. So thank you. I know that Jean Marie was hoping to get on the meeting tonight to hear her name, and so we could all wish her congratulations. So thanks very much.
Great, thank you so much for all of that. We'll move on to section 3, which is community comments, and I don't believe we have any this evening. Section 4 is our organizational input. And is Mr. Ramirez on this evening?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. And I'd like to give a shout out to Ms. Major. That was a great intro, those 2 videos. I know we don't have the kids in front of us, but that was uplifting. So thank you for that. I just want to say I'm looking forward to our negotiations upcoming, and that I'm looking forward to leaving this office and enjoying some of this weather. So thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Next is TFT. Is Mr. Dalton on this evening?
I do not see him on.
Okay, and then is someone here to represent AFSCME tonight?
I do not believe so.
Okay. This is the time we'll go to board member comments. And let's see here. Mr. Vasquez.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for the great presentations at the beginning of the meeting. that was very refreshing to see our young people, and that's the reason that we're all here, and appreciate it very much. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Barnes.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to also do a shout out to Stewart Panthers. I heard so much about them from social media. And also to our teachers and students for, wearing your mask, practicing social distancing to keep us in schools. That's amazing of you. I've been hearing good things. And my next comment is not of the TPS board members or schools. But first I would like to, extend my love to anyone who lost their loved one to COVID, to gun violence or police brutality in the past month or two. And with this, we're seeing an increased gun violence locally, and our kids are dealing with a lot of trauma, and we are doing stuff here with the FACE committee, me and Mr. Vasquez, to kind of address the gun violence. Also, Dr. Durant is really being very effective with his process of working with some of our community leaders. So I'm very proud to be a part of TPS family. But I would personally ask as a parent and a community member that if the police would like to decrease the gun violence, that they reallocate funding to social services, mental health services, and youth enrichment. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Ms. Eichenberg.
Thank you. I did want to say it is a pleasure to be back in the building and to have actually seen my fellow board members working out some sound quality issues. Next time we'll sit near one another for the whole session, hopefully. I did want to mention, we continue to get as board members both, very concerned emails that we're back in school. And when we weren't back in school, we got very concerned emails that we weren't back in school. And there's sort of winning formula. We have been paying attention to the data. I want to make sure people understand that our director of nursing meets with the health department a lot, not just occasionally, but as much as possible. She has constant open communication with them. Our schools do have students who get cases, and that's primarily because of the activities they experience outside of school. Now, I very nearly lost a family member to COVID in the past 3 weeks, and I understand that people are worried and concerned. We are always reviewing the data. We don't take any of these decisions lightly, and I think it's just very important that everybody understands that, and we look at the information that is in front of us and available, and there is extensive research that says what we're doing works, and we'll continue to try to do that. But if we see anything that isn't working, we will change course. I know it's really, really difficult from the perspective of students and families to be doing something different for the last 7 or 8 weeks of the school year than they were the entire school year. And that's a whole nother adjustment issue. And as a parent, I see it and I feel it in my own family, and it's tough. And I appreciate the community's continued support of our students. And I appreciate everything that our staff is doing to try to ease that transition for them as well. It is a real school year. And I hope nobody just tries to skate through it, because you're going to end up doing it again next year if that's what you were doing. So, if parents, make sure you know what summer school resources are available to them, in case they've been having problems engaging this year. And I would just ask that people be aware that we have some options for the summer available if you did have a student who was really struggling. So with that said, I'm going to stop there and let everybody else get their turn.
Thank you, Ms. Eichenberg. Ms. Gerken?
Good evening. It's kind of hard to continue with anything and not talk about COVID, again and again. But I'm still really worried about the stress and the mental health and the impact this has had on teachers. It seems like, I listen to a lot of public radio, so NPR. At least twice a week, I'm hearing a story from somewhere where they're talking about the impact that this whole year and a half has had on educators. Googled teacher mental health during pandemic, and I got 83 million hits. Okay. So it's obviously the topic around the country, and I'm sure around the world. And I'm just going to redouble my requests and asking the district administration to double down on their work to find ways to support and assist our teachers. I'm not sure that, I know we're all working really hard, but I have to wonder if I asked 5 random teachers if they knew of what was being offered to support them during this pandemic, if there would be anything obvious. And I say that not because I don't believe we're working on it, but I haven't seen it, what the it is that we're actually doing to assist teachers. And, they're going to be scattering to the wind for the summer too. And at what cost, and how are we going to, make sure that that we've addressed it when they come back. So I just feel like there's more that we can do, or I'm just missing something, but I'd like to see a little more evidence of what we're doing to make sure that teachers are okay.
Thank you, Ms. Gerken. Appreciate that. So I'm going to add, first and foremost, the kindergarten video. I love, 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 love. I have a granddaughter who is at kindergarten registration tonight. It's hard to believe, but she's going to be 5 this summer, and I look forward to, her becoming a TPS proud Bobcat. So excited about that. The LP Stewart Academy video, you can't help but smile, and it's obviously you can't see it with our little masks on, but the Girl Power Panthers, I am all about. They are rock stars, and I love it. So when we are able to connect with them, I'd love to go over there and do their chant with them. The retirees, certainly congratulations to you. That's a lot of years that the retirees have put in. So we certainly applaud your efforts and thank you for the years of service. A few more things. Look forward to graduation ceremonies. We know those are just around the corner, hard to believe. And our summer school initiative. Hopefully our parents are taking advantage of the interest survey and filling that information out. Also, I wanted to touch base briefly on the Ohio School Board Association's Board Leadership Institute. I was able to participate this past weekend, and we did a presentation on the Ed Choice vouchers, and I think that was pretty successful. There was also a mental health session, which I will pass along that information when I receive that from OSBA. I thought it was pretty beneficial and something that maybe we can learn from. I'd also like to comment about legislation a little bit. House Bill 200 addresses components of the current report card. And while it's not what I think that it should be, and I don't believe a lot of school board members feel that as well, but it's a step in the right direction. With that said, we are pushing forward with the proposal that has been created by the folks from the Urban Network via OSBA. And then just a mention of the Fair School funding. We certainly hope that, and again, I feel like that's a step in the right direction. So I certainly hope that passes. And Mr. Sexualty, you'll certainly let us know if there's, what we hear of that, and if there's any issues with that, where we can assist in speaking to our representatives. All right, with that said, we're going to move on to section 6, which is the consent agenda. Agenda items 6.01 through 6.25 are the consent agenda items, and board members may request to pull an item from the consent and move to the discussion section of the agenda. Items 6.01 to 6.06, Human Resources, Staff Development and Training Committee. The chair is Polly Taylor Gerken, co-chair Stephanie Eichenberg. Item 6.07 to 6.11, Finance and Business Operations Committee. Chairs Bob Vasquez, co-chair Chris Farwig. Item 6.12, Technology Improvements and Process Committee. There's no action items this month. And again, I want to thank our chairs, Stephanie Eichenberg and co-chair Polly Taylor Gherkin, for taking on this committee. 6.13 to 6.15, Board Curriculum, Instruction, and Academic Excellence. Chair is Polly Taylor Gherkin, co-chair is Chris Warwick. Item 6.16 to 6.19 is Policy Committee. Chair Sheena Barnes, co-chair Bob Vasquez. Item 6.20 and 6.21, Arts, Athletics, and Student Activities Committee. Chair Stephanie Eichenberg, co-chair Chris Varwig. Item 6.22 and 6.23, Family and Community Engagement Committee. Chairs Bob Vasquez, co-chair Sheena Barnes. Item 6.24 and 6.25, approval of the board meeting minutes. At this time, I'd like to request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Yes.
Thank you. Section 7 of the agenda consists reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings and are here for information and reference. No action is required, so we can proceed to section 8 of the agenda. And any discussion items this evening? I don't see it. All right, we'll move on to section 9. Are there any walk-ins this evening?
There are none.
Great. Section 10 is early childhood education action items. Chair is Polly Taylor Gherkin, co-chair is Sheena Barnes. Ms. Gherkin, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
I believe we do have one item for approval, and it's a budget revision request, sort of a routine thing when they needed to tune up a few things on the budget. So requires a vote for the Office of Head Start. So we need a motion for 10.01.
Make a motion that we approve 10.01.
I second that motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin, Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Section 11 of the agenda consists of early childhood education reports and minutes from this month's committee meetings and are provided for your information and reference. No action is required, so we can proceed to section 12, which are early childhood walk-ins. Ms. Gherkin, anything this evening?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on to section 13, which is executive session. I would like to request a motion to enter into executive session for the following: conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action, reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Treasurer Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin, Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will over to executive session. And once we're finished there, we'll be back to the regular board meeting.
Is TPS proud, Bob?
It looks like it.
Oh, no, I think that's,
No, it's a host. That's might be scratching.
There he goes. Okay.
Yep.
All right, everybody's back on. Wonderful. All right, so I would like to make a motion or request a motion to reconvene from executive session.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? None hearing. Mr. Schulte, please call the roll.
I don't think you heard you. You didn't have it.
Oh, Mr. Schulte, we've already we had a motion and a second to reconvene from executive session, and there was no discussion. Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Mrs. Gherkin,
Yes.
Mrs. Barwick,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we are moving on to section 14 through 16. So 14 is superintendent. Any comments?
Yeah, just again, congratulations to Ms. Durton. If you saw the posting that we posted yesterday on 13 Channel News, just chose the opportunity in TPS, and I made sure to point that out. Parents, you have this opportunity, take advantage of it. This young lady's got a master's degree and a diploma, all within a short window of time. And that's just one of many in regard to career tech and other things. So thanks for pointing out in regard to choice. And that's kind of the biggest message. So today I'll be posting Toledo Technology Academy, and every week we'll be posting something again. And I want to start all over again and keep posting it to everybody resonate that you're going to have to choose. And we'll bring something before you in regard to the pathways going from pre-K all the way into industry, or what it should look like when Naviance in the fifth grade, Expo in the 6th grade, 7th and 8th, potentially a major choice, or making your major in 9th grade. But again, what Naviance looks like in the 7th and 8th, as well as when they declare where they're going to go in their major. So we'll bring that to you once we are able to pull it all together. But that's awesome to have happen. And then Natural Science Technology Center, don't forget plant sale, May 7th and 8th that they're having. So thank you. TPS proud.
Thank you so much. I look forward to that sale every year. All right. Mr. Schulte, treasurer comments.
Yeah, you'll see last week that the House released their budget bill, and they made changes to House Bill 1, which is the Cup Patterson. It did put Cup Patterson into their bill, which is a positive, but the one major change that they did put in affects us financially in the fact that under the original poverty-based assistance, DPIA, whatever you call it, economic disadvantage, was being 100% funded straight out of the gate. Now they're going, under the House version, it's being phased in over 6 years with 0% in year 1, 14% year 2, and they have done the rest. So that will affect the increases that we would have received compared to the original version. Saying all that, that is only step 2 of the 4-step process. So we know that there's challenges ahead in the Senate. And then once the Senate comes out with their version of what they would like to do, it will go to the compromise committee to work out the differences. So just caution you right now, don't get too worried. We'll have to wait to see what the Senate does, and then we can go from there. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Any recommendations on picking up the phone and calling anyone?
Not at this point, not until we see what the Senate's going to do. There's been a lot of rumors out there, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but it will be interesting.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to hearing from you. All right, board member comments, Mr. Vasquez.
None.
Ms. Barnes.
I just want to say happy birthday to my Bambino. He's turning 8 today.
Happy birthday, Bambino. Ms. Eichenberg.
I'm going to say happy birthday to Bambino.
Ms. Gergen.
I have a couple things, if you'll indulge me. One is I heard a term that I thought you and Ms. Barnes would like when you talk about your good trouble. I heard someone refer to it the other day as strategic trouble. So I think that yeah, it goes right up your alley, the good strategic trouble. So now we have a hyphen there. So I wanted just while I have all of you in front of me really is just talk about board meetings. I was, I understand that we're trying to do a hybrid thing. My sense would be that once we're all in the building, that we would be on the dias, socially distanced with appropriate precautions and talking to each other and not necessarily all in front of individual computers. So if I'm going to be in front of a computer, I might as well do it like, where I'm at. And whenever is necessary, I think I like the idea that we can have a person can remote into a meeting because the law has changed to allow that. But technically what needs to happen for us to be able to meet in person is we need to all be able to be safe. Maybe there's, it's hybrid in the sense that maybe there are some people in the building that need to, I think we can socially distance in the boardroom, talk to each other, and have a camera or a way to broadcast the meeting to the public to keep it, because we can't bring the audience, we can't bring the public in and appropriately socially distance. So I'm envisioning like one camera and an appropriate microphoning so that it can be broadcast to meet the public meeting requirement, because the public meeting requirement requires them to see us doing our business openly. So I would like to work on, if we're going to all be in the building, I would rather come in the building and talk to each other and not talk to a computer camera, right? And so, whenever between Mr. Gant and Mr. Steck-Schulte, you could help get our boardroom ready for, I'm just going to say a proper board meeting and at the same time, bring the public eye into the room like we need to do, whether it's with video cameras or whatever. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on this notion of going into the building and yet still sitting in front of a computer and dealing with technology and, all of those different things. So I'm ready to, do it safely, do what we got to do to be together. So.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Gerken. I think that we'll definitely take our time looking at that. I know with end of the school year, adding things on to staff, that's why we kind of did a hybrid, just kind of keep everybody what they're comfortable with doing. So we'll take a look at that and we'll get with Mr. Gant and Mr. Steck-Schulte and see what we can do.
Certainly give time to do that. There's only 2 more meetings before the end of this. So I get it. But the part about just coming in and getting on separate computers doesn't like feel any different to me, except the technology is still a barrier and all of the above. So thanks everyone for doing what you got to do to make this work.
All right. Well, I think we are ready to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Vasquez,
Yes.
Mrs. Gerken,
Yes.
Mrs. Varwig,
Yes.
Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Mrs. Eichenberg.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Stay healthy.